Google Web Core Vitals. I'm going to attempt to try and explain in the most simplest way as I can what this is all about and why it's important for you as a website owner, because Google will start implementing these new search engine results algorithms in 2021. Google Webmaster Central blog had an article that was posted back in May of 2020 titled Evaluating Page Experience for a Better Web. At the time I read this, I didn't really understand what I was reading and kind of put it aside, but recently there's a lot of buzz on the internet about the new Google Web Vitals, the Core Vitals that will begin to take place in 2021. As you can see, Google tried to explain how they want to give the visitor a better web experience in whatever website they're visiting. And they're providing an early look at an upcoming search ranking change that incorporates these experience metrics. In other words, Google's going to change their algorithm of how they're going to rank your website next year. And another interesting point was they no longer will use AMP as a requirement in their search engine results. It'll still be supported, but it will not be used according to what I read here. So I find it very interesting. If you want, you can continue to read more in this blog article. But let's go into a deep dive of the Web Core Vitals. So let's take a look at the Core Web Vitals. Just click on the link on the blog we were just reading. It'll take you to the section called Core Web Vitals. And there are 3 new factors that Google will use in ranking your website in 2021. And don't be confused, we'll explain this terminology soon in a more simple way. The first point is called largest contentful paint. The second point is called first input delay, which is your interactivity. And the third point is called cumulative layout shift, which is your visual stability. Cumulative. And you can read more as you scroll down, but as I explained earlier, we want to keep it simple. Let's break each of these 3 factors down in a simple manner. Let's take a look at the first factor, which is called largest contentful paint, or LCP. And what it is measuring the load time of, let's see how Google defines LCP. Here we go. The render time of the largest image or text block visible within the viewport, which can be an image, an SVG element, video, can be a background image, a block level element, but normally it's a header, your header image or your title of your article or post, how fast it will load in the viewport or the browser that you're using. The second factor is called first input delay. So let's take a look at FID. And what FID is, let's scroll down and see what the definition is. FID measures the time when the user first interacts with a page. When they click a link, tap on a button, or use a custom JavaScript powered control, the time it takes the browser to able to process it so you can see it in your browser. Basically, when you click on the link, etc., you should see the results in 100 milliseconds. In this example, I'd like to show you how first input delay works. As I click, no matter what link I click on, within 100 milliseconds, something appears. So let's open the blog, and it goes right to the blog in less than 100 milliseconds. The final and third factor we'll take a look at is called cumulative layout shift, which is your visual stability. And first, let me stop this video, as this is the example we're going to use that Google gave us to explain how this works. There we go. Have you ever been reading an article online and something suddenly changes, the text move, or you lost your place? You tap a link and boom, you end up clicking something else. Okay, here's an e-commerce example. Order confirmation. You have 56 items, and maybe this is an error. You do not want 56 items, so you want to go back to clear that before you place your order, because the order is incorrect. See, you have two choices: place my order, or no, go back. Real simple, right? So you're sitting there thinking, okay, I'll go back. But watch, as you go down, watch the page shifts, and then you ended up clicking submitting order, and you're trying to click no, go back, and then it's too late, and you're panicking, and your order has been placed with 56 items that you did not want. So this is an example of visual shifting on your website. Now you may be wondering, how can I test my website for these CoreWebVitals? Well, Google provides, or they give you suggestions on web tools that you can use to check your web vitals. PageSpeedInsights, Chrome UX Report, Search Console, Chrome Developer Tools, Google Lighthouse, and there's also a Google Web Vital extension for the Chrome browser. So we're not going to go through all these tools, but just most likely you try out that extension, because it does test all three vitals of your website, and also the PageSpeedInsights. What I did next is run a simple GTMetrix speed test on my website, and as you can see, page score is 93%. Loaded time is 2.7 seconds. Of course, I noticed my page size has increased to 973 kilobytes. As you can see, everything is rated A mostly, so it appears that you may have, even though you have a fast website, it may not pass the Web Vital Core metrics. The first tool that we are going to take a look at, the simplest tool to use, it's an extension for the Chrome web browser called WebVitals. I already have it installed, that's why it says to remove from Chrome. Normally it would say install. And once installed, you would see a box in your toolbar. Normally it's gray because it's dormant. But once you open a website, whatever website, as it crawls the website, the gray should change to either green or red. In this case, okay, it changed to green. And as we look at the cumulative shift layout, does not pass on this website. I just refreshed the website, and now it's all green. So this extension is just a quick check and we'll look at a tool that goes deeper into analyzing your website. Okay, let's take a look at let's test another website with this extension. Let's look at my own website. Now it tested and there's a red, which means it failed. The largest contentful pane. 2.1. Let me try and refresh this page and see if it changes. Because other tests, my website ran satisfactory. See, now it's green. And the rendering, largest contentful pane dropped to 2.32 seconds, which passes. So I'm not sure why it does that. Let's take a look at another website here. It's all green and all three metrics of the WebVital core has passed. So I'm not sure how accurate this extension is, but it kind of gives you a starting point of where you are at. Now let's take a look at the second test, PageSpeedInsights by Google. Now in this test, I think it'll be more detailed and give you more information. And it takes a while to render websites, so I'm going to pause and restart once it's completed. And here we go, the same website that we looked at, 500 pixels. As you can see, it failed. Two metrics passed the first input delay, and the cumulative layout shift is borderline. And it goes deeper into showing you where your problems are. As you can see, let's take a look at a particular metric. Open it up and it'll tell you, in this case, what images are your problem images. JavaScript, unused JavaScript files. So this is a more stricter test. A little bit more difficult to pass. Let's take a look at my own website. See how bad it is. Okay, it's not, there's no green, but there's borderline, first contentful pane. As you can see, the various metrics. Let's look at the remove unused CSS. It'll show you where your problem areas are. Yes, this test is much more difficult, which I believe would be a more truer indicator of where your website stands. So developers will have a much, will be busy trying to meet the WebVital core standards in 2021. Let's take a look at the other website that we looked at previously, New York Times. See where this particular website stands. Not too bad. 2 green, 2 passes, 1 failure in the cumulative layout shift. As you can see, there's work here to be done here also. Yes, lots of work to do for developers. I hope with this video you can now understand the 3 basic metrics of what the Web Core Vitals will require sometime in 2021. I think eventually these terminologies will become commonplace down the road. So more to come in future videos. So thank you for watching.